Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my new studio setup. So, welcome to my new setup. I mean, it took me around about 3 weeks just to get it to how I wanted it to be and to get all the bits and pieces for my setup, which I will talk about throughout this video. I went through multiple test shots just to kind of get it to how I wanted it to be. And I mean, this is it. The hardest part was not really the positioning, but more so the lighting. I don't know if it's good or not, if it's too bright, if it's too dark, how the foreground and the background is. So let me know. Any feedback is very appreciated. That's mainly one of the reasons why there weren't any videos throughout the last 3 weeks. That's a long time without any videos. But I mean, I had to wait for a lot of parts of my setup to kind of arrive. I had to order a lot of stuff from online and the such. And I mean, I really haven't even had time to watch any movies, I haven't had time to review them, obviously, because my setup wasn't complete, and I didn't even have a chance to watch them either. There have been 4 movies that have come out in the last 3 weeks or the last 2 weeks that I really wanted to see, namely Nobody, The Courier, Ascendant, and Voyages. 2 of them which I have seen at the time of recording this, since I've had the last week pretty much free, to do a lot of stuff, and pretty much done with all my moving and around the house and organizing, which I will review and upload pretty shortly. But this video will just be kind of like showing you my new setup, my new room, because I am pretty proud of it and what I've done to it. And also just my new recording setup. So there won't be a big transition between the last few videos and my future videos. Now this setup, it's not perfect, which I will explain throughout the video, but without a further ado, let's get started. I guess let's start from the left to the right of the room. Now here we have my display shelf. I thought I needed one just to liven up the place a little bit more and display some very cool items that I've collected throughout the years, such as my games ranging from PS2, Wii, Xbox 360, and Switch games, to the majority of PS4 games and special editions. And then up top we have some figures that I like to collect, and then an RGB strip at the very back just to showcase my shelf a little bit better with some lighting like that. I chose blue because it's my favorite color. Now I would go in depth about all my figures and what they mean to me, because I obviously didn't collect them for no reason, but I mean, this is a setup video, so there's really no need. But unless you guys want one, I might create one in the future. Yeah, I'm just intending this just to show my stuff off and not explain too much, because otherwise this will be a fairly long video. But moving on. Next up, some poster frames. Now I always loved those movie poster frames that you would see at theaters, and I kind of wanted to replicate that in my kind of own home studio style, like most people do as well. So as you see right now, I just have 3. I would have loved 3 on that wall instead of 1 on that wall and 2 on this, but I feel like 3 on that wall would just be a little bit too much. Now I know they're all superhero movies, but I mean, I just love superhero movies just because of the hype that they bring. And keep in mind, this is just the start of my setup, so I mean, I just had them in as kind of like a starter, and I can just exchange them for other posters later on. Now here we have some really cool IKEA light sticks, which can change colors as well. I mostly have them as white though, because they act as really cool studio lights as well. But right now I have them as kind of blue, just to match with the color scheme in the background. Now here's my desk with my setup. You've got the laptop, keyboard, monitor, PS4 switch, and my streaming setup as well. Twitch.tv/LotusPaint. Now, this isn't my ideal setup. Originally, I thought of putting my desk over there instead of like over here. But this opens my room a lot more, and I'll show you why in a little bit. Now here's the thing, I'm thinking about upgrading and building my own PC in the near future, because right now all I have is a laptop to stream, to play games, and to edit my videos. And along with that, I'm thinking about upgrading my desk as well to a much bigger one, larger one, and to kind of one that fits more within my kind of room setup and color scheme. You know, this desk is just like the desk that I always used back in home, you know, back in my old house, I mean. And so this will have to do for now. And here are my Nanoleaf lights, the last bit of my setup that came in recently. Now, I've always wanted something really cool and intriguing like this in my setup because I feel like it adds a whole nother dimension. I mean, it's vibrant, it can change colors, and it can also act like a nice set of studio lights when need be. What's cool about these is that you can arrange these into any sort of shape that you want, and you can add more if need be. Right now I have this really cool crown looking shape, nice and symmetrical. Okay, now here's the last part of my room that I wanted to talk about. Here basically you have some like blinds, you know, they're really cool, like they you can open them really easily to see outside, and it's pretty cool. And then you have the room for like a long poster, like the Eiffel Tower poster right here. And as you can see here, this is where my tripod would go. And here's basically what my recording setup would look like. I mean, right now I bought these two NEEWER lights from Amazon, and they work really well. Like right now I'm only finding use for like one of them. I feel like one is enough because in terms of PowerPoint placement in my house, it's too far for the other one to be situated. But right now, this is what it looks currently. Oh, and here's also my big double-doored wardrobe. And there you have it, my full setup. I'm really happy about it, but I'm not too sure about this recording setup and angle. You know, from what I said at the start of the video, and depending on how many shots, this was as good as I could make it. But do please let me know down below what you think of it, and if it's good or not. I'm hoping that it's good because I don't really want to change it anytime soon. I mean, I think it's decent though. It's just with the lighting, you know. I tried a shot where the Nanoleafs were on, so you could see the background a little bit more clearer, and it wasn't so dark. But it also meant that you could kind of see, like, on that person, the reflection of the lights, which could be kind of annoying or irritating. I don't know. But right now, I just have one NEEWER light on and a few background lights on, and I think it's doing the job. But I won't know until after, like, I see the footage and I edit it all. Now, since you have reached this part of the video, I'll assume that you're somewhat interested. So please like, comment, and share the video. But most importantly, subscribe. I mean, I've been making videos for more than 2 years now, and I only have, 45 subscribers at the time of recording this video, and I've made a lot of really good content, I think. It's just that nobody's really seeing it. So if you like what you see, please support me, even if you're not going to watch any single one of my videos ever again, which is what most, if not all, my subscribers do anyway. Okay, so my room is not the biggest, obviously, but instead of before where it was like my setup and my bedroom all in one, now I have a dedicated room just for my setup. And I also feel like the camera kind of maybe makes the room seem a little bit smaller than it actually is, because it actually is pretty large. Just not larger than a lot of other studio setups. But anyway, check out the special bonus footage just for sticking around until the end of the video. Okay, so no one asked for this, but I just wanted to show you guys what my recording setup for the last 2 years have been in my old house. Also, forgive me because it is pretty messy around here. That's because I'm moving currently, so I'm just basically getting stuff organized. So I say, just tidying everything up. So there's bits and pieces everywhere except my desk area, so you have a perspective as to how messy everything else is, but my setup and the camera, like where it's pointed, isn't that bad. So, but anyway, here you've got the tripod, which should house the camera, but I'm using it right now. Well, that's my bed right there. Here, there's my setup. This is where my camera will be pointed most of the time. And of course, while you're seeing it, like here, it's my streaming setup too, with the camera up top there and the mic and boom arm there. But yeah, that's about it. And another thing I wanted to say is that the lighting in this place, not that good. I haven't had the money to afford proper front-facing lighting, so my lighting is overhead. It's not that bad, but when shown on screen, it casts a shadow down my face, which looks pretty unprofessional. So thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for my future reviews in this new setup. Until next time.